Welcome to Kaumudy Global. Whether it's a tragedy or not, something that hasn't changed so far is Britain's apathy. Boris Johnson is all over the news, condemning Putin, announcing sanctions and visiting NATO members, but that's about it. He wishes to assist from afar, nothing that will directly involve the United Kingdom. Let me tell you what happened in Calais, a French city that serves as a transit point for refugees. They congregate in Calais and then cross the English Channel to Britain. Several hundred Ukrainians have arrived in the city. Britain had promised to take in 2 lakh Ukrainians, but they were in for a rude awakening in Calais, which is a French city and a transit point for refugees. Border guards in the United Kingdom refused to let them in, and the reason they stated was that paperwork was apparently incomplete. These people were leaving a war zone for their lives, and Boris Johnson demands complete paperwork. Almost 300 refugees were turned away and told to correct their documentation properly. How do they do it when they have to go 300 kilometers to Paris? Calais' mayor is enraged at the British authorities for their ignorant attitude. Boris Johnson's entire refugee strategy has been a disaster. He vowed to welcome 2 lakh people, but just 1,000 have been granted visa. Johnson was forced to act after a barrage of criticisms. He still wants visa, but the procedure has been made easier. Passport-holding refugees can now easily enter the United Kingdom. They can complete their visa processes after entering the nation, which is a half measure at best, but it's still startling coming from Europe. During the 2016 migrant crisis, a similar scenario occurred. It was dubbed a European crisis. There were discussions, crackdowns, and a lot of politics. There is no mention of a crisis this time. A total of 2.5 million Ukrainians have sought refuge in the European Union. The majority of them have been warmly greeted. What accounts for this disparity? In one word, we can call it blatant racism. What a French presidential candidate said about refugees is that it's a question of assimilation, he said. There are people who are like us and people who are unlike us. Everybody understands that Arab or Muslim immigrants are too unlike us and that it is harder and harder to integrate them. To be clear, this man is running for president and he is not alone in Europe's far-right politicians publicly displaying their prejudice. I'll give you another example. This comment was made by a Dutch legislator and it goes like this. Thousands of aliens who have exhausted all legal remedies reside in the Netherlands are not entitled to asylum. People from Morocco, Tunisia, for example, who can safely return home. Every bed they take is a place where no genuine Ukrainian refugee may sleep. Check out the Arabs and Africans he's labeling aliens and bring in the rest of the world. This could be termed as some kind of a fringe that encompasses privileged European counterparts. Here's another question. Is Britain's Prince William also on the fringe? Let me read what he said regarding in the conflict in Ukraine. For our generation, it is very alien to see this in Europe. We are all right behind you. We are thinking about you. We feel so useless. Maybe he genuinely feels that way. But why just Europe? That's the question. Why do all of the Western leaders say the same thing? Is it the war or the fact that Europe is at war that affects them? Plus, it's impressive coming from a dynasty that colonized a fifth of the globe and fought battles on every continent except Antarctica. And now, he's a symbol of Europe's conflict. You may attempt to mask racism all you want, but it's part of a wider structural problem in Europe. You may try to be politically correct, but difficult situations tend to reveal a true self. I'm Neha signing out. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates.